In the great state of Virginia, one of the original forced ultrasound states, thanks to Virginia Republicans, right, one of the first states that decided they would force women to have medically unnecessary procedures as a price for getting an abortion in the state. In that state, something really interesting just happened in their politics. Virginia always has its statewide elections in off years. Yes, they participate in national elections just like everybody else, but for all their statewide races, Virginia does them in off years. So their 2013 is like everybody else's 2012. And statewide job openings in this election year in Virginia include governor, lieutenant governor, and attorney general, all the big ones. The Republican Party in Virginia handpicked their candidates for those jobs this year. They scrapped the whole primary vote thing and instead used a convention to crown their candidates. That resulted in the rather off-the-hook, far-right slate of Republican nominees they got themselves. Larry Sabato says this is the most right-wing slate of Republican candidates to ever run for office in Virginia, ever. But on the Democratic side, they picked their candidates by a statewide vote, by a primary. And a surprisingly interesting dynamic ended up being at work. In the lieutenant governor's race, the guy on the right, his name is Anish Chopra. He was very heavily favored to win the lieutenant governor nomination. He seemed to have everything going for him. He's got a really impressive resume. He was chief technology officer in the Obama administration. He worked as secretary of technology for a previous Virginia governor, carries himself really well. He's really good at politics, has a great personal story. He's really smart. He's the eldest son of immigrants. On The Daily Show, Jon Stewart once compared him to George Clooney. He also outspent the other guy in the race by a lot. His opponent is the guy on the left, Dr. Ralph Northam. He's a soft-spoken, longtime state senator. He's also a pediatric neurologist. And Ralph Northam has been in the state Senate for about 5 years now. No national profile, really, no national connections to call on, and he had a lot less money for this race than the other guy. But there was an upset in this race. The state senator doctor from the Virginia shore is the one who won. And he won after making essentially the centerpiece of his campaign his efforts to stop Virginia Republicans and their forced transvaginal ultrasound bill. That's what he put in his campaign ads, his role fighting the Republicans on that.
When Ken Cuccinelli and his crowd in Richmond pushed the transvaginal ultrasound bill, we knew what to do. There was one person to turn to, Dr. Ralph Northam.
There is no reason that a group of legislators, mostly men, should be telling women what they should and shouldn't be doing with their bodies.
I want to especially shout out State Senator Ralph Northam, who has led the charge to repeal that bill, ultrasound bill.
Ralph just gets it.
I'm Ralph Northam, and I authorize this message.
That is how Democrats are competing for statewide office in Virginia now. And the guy who ran that ad is the guy who won, even though he was financially outgunned. So that was the lieutenant governor's race.